I'm Anil Kumar, and now we will solve a question using sine or cosine law. So that is the application of either of these two laws. One part of our solution is to figure out which law to apply, and then we'll apply that particular law and solve the question. Question here is, the interior angles of a triangle are 120 degrees, 40 degrees and 20 degrees. The longest side is 10 centimeters longer than the shortest side. Determine the perimeter of the triangle to the nearest centimeter. Now this is a test question. You can pause the video, copy the question, solve, and then look into my suggestion. First step is, let us sketch a diagram, right? So let's say this is our triangle. 120 means it is more than 90, right? So kind of like this. And let me just complete this triangle like this. Okay. So that's the triangle. Now in this triangle, what we are given is one angle which is 120 degrees. Other two are smaller angles. So let this be 20 degrees, okay, and let this be 40 degrees. Now in this case, we are given that the longest side is 10 centimeters longer than the shortest. Longest side is this one, shortest is opposite 20 degrees. That is the shortest side, right? So let us assume that the shortest side is x centimeters, right? X centimeters. Then the longest will be x plus 10 centimeters, right? So we have in centimeters x plus 10. That is the shortest. Now we need to find the perimeter. You can find the perimeter only after finding all the three sides, right? Now how can you find the sides? Now in this case, one of the approaches that we know angles, two sides are known and the angle between, so we can use cosine law, right, and find the third side in terms of x. That could be one approach. That's a thinking process. The second is, we know the combination of side and the angle. We can actually use sine law and find the sides, right? So probably it seems that in this question we could approach with anything, right? Both the laws can work for us, but I'll prefer to use sine law. So whenever there's a preference, we will use sine law, since sine law involves lesser calculations. So we have decided to use sine law. Why? Because sine law can give us a relation between the angle and the sides, and the angle is known. We can find x, and then once we find x, we can then use cosine law to find the third side. So we have to use both, right? To begin with, we'll use the sine law. Okay. So what we get here is side over the sine of the angle. Side is x plus 10 divided by sine of 120 degrees, right? So I'm cutting down a few steps. I'm not writing the sine law, but you know it is side over the sine of angle opposite and x over sine of 20 degrees, correct? So we get sine of 20 degrees. If I cross multiply, then I can find, I get a linear equation in x. So I have here x plus 10 times sine of 20 degrees equals to x times sine of 120 degrees, right? So let's use the calculator and figure it out. So it is, we could actually find the ratio also. So yeah, that could have been simpler. So what we will do is, we will actually write like this: x plus 10 equals to x times sine of 120 degrees divided by sine of 20 degrees, so that we don't have so many decimal numbers. Okay, so we have decided to write sine 20 equals to divided by sine of 20 equals to 2.53. So this ratio, sine 120 over 20, is 2.53. So let's do it once again. So we have sine of 120 divided by sine of 20 equals to 2.532. I want to take 3 decimal places. Okay, so we have x times 2.532. Okay, 532. So this is what we get, and we have x plus 10 here, right? Now to find x, we can take this x on the right side and then find what x is. So we have 10 equals to 2.532x minus x. That is and the right. So we get this as 1.532x is equals to 10. So from here we can find what x is. So let me write down x as equals to 10 divided by 1.532, right? That is x. So we get 10 divided by 1.532 equals to, let's write it in decimals, 6.527. 6.527. So that is the value of x which we get. Now, since we need to find to the nearest centimeter, we'll round this to one decimal place. So we have x as equal to 6.5. X plus 10 will be equal to 16.5, correct? So we know this dimension is equals to 6.5 and this is equals to 16.5. Now to find the perimeter, we have to find the third side also, right? So let us write down third side as y. Now to find the perimeter, we should find the third side y. To find y, we can use either sine law or cosine law. Let us use cosine law this time. So we can find y as, let's write y square equals to square of these two sides, sum of squares of these two sides, which is 16.5 square plus 6.5 square minus 2 times these two sides, which is 16.5 times 6.5 times cos of the angle opposite to the side, which is cos of 40 degrees, right? So that gives you square of y. That is a cosine law, right? Now we can use one decimal place for the two sides to find the third, since we need the nearest centimeter as our answer, right? So one decimal place is good enough. So let's write 16.5 square plus 6.5 square minus 2 times 16.5 times 6.5 times cos of 40 degrees equals to, it gives us 150.18. So to find y, we should find square root of 150.18. That gives us square root of the answer is equal to 12.25. Okay. Now perimeter is sum of all the sides. So perimeter, let's say P is equals to, let's add 12.25 plus 16.5 plus 6.5, right? So that gives us, let's add plus 6.5 plus 16.5 is equals to 35.25. Rounding to one to the whole number, we get 35, right? So that is the perimeter of the given triangle. So we have our answer that the perimeter P is 35 centimeters, right? So we can always include answer with the units. That is important. You can exclude units in your calculations, but definitely when you write answer, include units. So that is how we can solve this question. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.